What's good, YouTube? What's up, people? And welcome to another episode of the Doug Cow Show. And on today's episode, we're talking about book 4 in the series of unfortunate events series, The Miserable Meal. And boy, is it miserable. I honestly feel like this is the worst situation that the Baudelaires have been put in yet. Because, I mean, literally, it's crazy. So the book starts out, and they're on the train, and they're in this forest, and they see a sign for a lumber mill. So they're thinking that they're just gonna stay there. Well, no, they're actually working in the lumber mill. Now, why are kids working in a lumber mill? This reminds me of, you know, like in China where they work in sweatshops and, do the whole clothes thing. But anywho, so they get a note saying, "Oh, report to the dormitory and then report to work in the morning." And so they go to the dormitory and they meet Phil. Now, Phil is just a guy that works at the lumber mill. And he's like, there's no way. There's no way they're working here. There is no way. So then you go later on in the book and you see that they meet Foreman Ficatono. Yeah, you heard me right, Foreman Ficatono. And this guy is a straight up ass. He calls the kids midgets. He's like, "Oh, midgets, get up and get ready for work," and blah blah blah. And so he's just an ass. So, anywho, so they get up the next morning. They report to work, and they're using the pinching machines and things of that nature. Well, Foreman Ficatono trips Klaus. He has to get his glasses repaired. So he goes to Dr. Orwell. And Dr. Orwell works in this building that's shaped like an eye. The same kind of eye that Count Olaf has on his ankle. So you can imagine their suspicions, and then there's this lady that her name is Shirley, and they the Baudelaires, Violet and Sunny, they know something's up. But so Klaus comes back from the doctor, and he's acting hella weird. Like, he don't know who Violet and Sunny are. And they're like, "Yo, what's going on with Klaus? He's like been brainwashed or hypnotized or something." Well, turns out, he was hypnotized. So he wakes up. They wake up the next morning. He's still hypnotized. So they go to work. Klaus is using the snap machine, and he is using it, and then boom, Phil gets hit by the stone from the snap machine because Klaus is still hypnotized. So he has to go to the hospital, and in the meantime, All three Baudelaires go to Dr. Orwell's office. And so basically, they go there and they talk to Shirley and who they know as Count Olaf, by the way. And basically, they tell her, look, we know who you are. We know this is going on. You're this person. You're Count Olaf in disguise. Blah, 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 blah. So, Klaus gets back from the doctor again, and he's still acting weird. So, they're like, we still don't know what's going on, but we're going to find out. And Violet actually gets a book on ophthalmology science, and it's one of the books in the library, and she finds out that there's a chapter on hypnotism, and so she reads it, and so later on basically what happens is that it's later at night. It's late at night, and they hear the saw on, and Foreman Ficatono is telling Klaus. Well, actually, they see a log, and there's a bundle tied to the log, and it's Charles, and Charles is Sir's partner, and Sir is the Baudelaire's guardian while they're at the lumber mill, and why Sir thought it was a good idea for the Baudelaires to work at the lumber mill, I have no idea. But yeah. So later on, so back to what I was telling y'all about the saw. So they hear the saw, and Klaus is in front of the saw working the saw, and Foreman Ficatono is telling him push the saw towards Charles, and meanwhile Violet figures out the word that she figured out the word that hypnotized Klaus. The word was lucky. So Violet and Foreman Ficatono keep going back and forth. Lucky, push the saw towards him. Lucky, push the saw away. Blah 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 blah. So this is going on. So that goes on for a while. Then they hear a voice. They hear another voice say "Lucky," and it's Dr. Orwell. Well, Dr. Orwell and Sonny end up getting into a fight. Now, so Sonny and Dr. Orwell are going at it because Dr. Orwell has a sword, and basically, Sonny has her 4 sharp teeth, so they're fighting each other, and so then another accident ends up happening because Sarah comes in the room, and Dr. Orwell ends up getting surprised, and she ends up stepping into the path of the saw. So Dr. Orwell ends up getting killed. And Dr. Orwell wasn't really Dr. Orwell. So what happens? Does Charles end up getting killed? Or what happens to the Baudelaire orphans? after this, who knows, man? Because this, like I said, this has been the worst experience yet for them. This is just horrible. I mean, like literally, they had to work in a lumber mill and doing. Yeah, Klaus was hypnotized, almost brainwashed, and it's just like, really, man? Wow. you know. Oh, but so was Charles killed? I don't know. You'll have to read the book and find out. And you'll also find out, was Shirley really Count Olaf or not? You'll just have to read the book and find out. Hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you want to keep up to date with the channel and things going on, be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications for future videos. And if you have suggestions, leave comments and suggest books for me to read. I'm up for suggestions. And yeah, so that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all enjoyed. And like I said, if you like what you see, please subscribe. And if you want to keep up to date, subscribe and turn on all notifications so that way you do not miss a minute or a video that I push to you guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.